Now I'm going to read some poetry. Alright. What to read first?
Wishes were fishes.
I'm going to read this one first. Mosaics from an old folk song. Of wrinkled and degenerate skin that sags and adheres to clocks, the old man took his fill. He took his wings and left them in his wallet. Grandkids made of scrap meals and cussed out walls bottom of a wheelchair, bent and used with rolled up paralysis. He watched Gertrude today, picking at the empty ceiling of memory, all yellowy and vague, bird-like, and whistling out a tune in swing. She laid her fist on the jello, squeezed an inch from its green putrescent hull, and became enlightened by the sight, knowing then and there the rhapsody of its form. With arthritis-stained hands, he made a prophecy out of the coupons, declaring to the halls, "Peace for our time." He got a thank you letter the next day, addressed to the millions of hallowed customers that told him that buy one, get one free was the actualization of surrender. And he tucked it in dressers next to shoes and socks. He found that the nurses enjoy melding with the bark of plastic trees billowing out of dining rooms and illustrated magazines, and sticking their noses against cellulose chins while saying, "This thaw took a while to thaw. It's going to take a while to unthaw." Now comes the cigarette, puffed and cradled, the fill of its tobacco crust. He likes to smoke it on the porch, with his little bit of hair making a home from the musty scent of dried nicotine that licks at the brown, wears his consistency, and doubles up the match. And through the smoke he sees old Frank in a bag of skin and bones, who claimed that he was 903, who swore that he was once Houdini's apprentice, who cursed at the laws of entropy by saying, "What the hell?" and who ate up cancer in the silence of the bedspread. Between the dim, he stares at the walls around him and listens for the change as it happens. From the night's gallery, dull patients begin to make their mark, and his ears tune to rushed breaths and thudding. What he heard came suddenly, like a flicker of the light. An imaginary silent film by Akira Kurosawa. Dropping some coin, she spills sugar to cream upon his rustled goatee in wisps. He spreads out his wings like thin paper rolls above chalk drawings and cement cracks. From the sidewalk, a bench for him, the fangs of Mr. Hochikai. He sips at her casually, the venerable Miss Hochikai, who likes hemoglobin mixed with coffee and cream, who believes that practice is the art of him, and that theory is just the wisps. Human appendages fall through the cracks, and he takes another bite and rolls. From pockets, bread outwardly rolls onto the sloven hands of the beggar Hochikai. He bows to the pigeons with a joke that he cracks, and then keeps them beneath benches to suckle on cream. All at once, their memories fade to animalistic wisps, and he knows that love is the might of him. It is the afternoon, and there is no shelter for him, whose skin burns and rolls away from his body, turning to wisps, hiding under newspapers. A silent Hochikai thinks back to rosy cheeks turned the color of cream, and he rips out his fangs with a crack. Warming blood sithers through a bench crack as pedestrians drop banknotes of the yen to a burnt Hochikai. They walk past tiny red dots mingled in cream as dawn simmers down like dice rolls of a bet in the night hours between him, whose body turns to dust, then floats on in wisps. And his dust is carried to cities in wisps, while grains are buried in sidewalk cracks, and on a park bench far away sit the fangs of Hochikai, longing for the taste of him. They bite down on soft wood as pulp rolls fall into caffeinated cream. From the fangs of Mr. Hochikai comes a goatee fit with black hair that rolls onto a fresh body reborn from coffee and cream. Thank you. That poem was about a vampire named Mr. Hochikai who comes back from the dead via his cup of coffee. This next one's called Blunderbuss is a Dove Thing. The page blanked out and coughed up the chains from a blunderbuss loaded with doves. Naked hands draped across sunlit boughs, tethered to the bark and shimmered in a carapace. And there were powdered faces, too, mesmerized by cotton seeds and the fluff in their hands. They made hard drives across oceans to worn and heavy feet for ripe fields and dawn pockets. They liked to wear wigs that they stuffed with conversations of debating blood from gorilla fangs. And they made a thing, a special kind of thing, to balance with a fist and talk about during dinner parties. How it would go, taking a sip from an empty glass and tasting its absence, and smiling with the right utensils. One would ask about so-and-so's daughter's son's nephew, while another tried not to look at it. The cage, illuminated, cocked and loaded with whips, coins, collars, and checks. They would take a bite of well-prepared chicken fricassee, rice on the side, with banana souffle for dessert, adorned with suffering, blood-stained napkins across gold-encrusted plates. And now the bird flapped back to know what it saw, now and then, a book made of stiff feathers and skins, written in the language of frigates, whose cargo remembers every word. Thank you. Got one more poem and one more song. This poem is a piece I wrote after Lou Reed passed away. God is a life insurance salesman. Life is like Sanskrit read to a pony. Lou Reed. Clink, clink, clink goes the spoon, bent in the kitchen. It plays squarely to a waltz, combined with scratches and pops from a fingernail white as linen that froths on the inside. They belong to her, who sits beneath a crinkle of the rust-colored petals on a rocking chair with one arm wrapped around another. A hornet's nest bulges from her gray hair as if to say, I am for the language of beasts. A miniature pyramid built out of sand and painted with frost is cradled upon her ear to hear the clamor of boots on splintered porch stairs and a dusty briefcase with facts and figures about to tumble open. The salesman, God, rings. His suit and tie flap around as he sways his hands back and forth. Our premium coverage extends to offspring, a fountain pen jutts from his throat. Now she meanders to the refrigerator and pulls out a pair of mummified ostrich wings. My adopted son, Lou. As she slinks back to a glass of lukewarm milk, he reads subcontract and triplicate clause section like an incantation dictated to a typist whose paper has turned to ashes and flames. He opens his briefcase and pliable womb-scented eyes stare upwards. She signs on the dotted line as God's briefcase oozes out into the open air. Lullabies pour from her mouth. Her grass-like teeth shift to a smile as she sings, You're gonna reap just what you sow. She dangles the miniature pyramid in front of him, and he learns to yearn inside amniotic fluid.
Oh, nice. Chris Goudreau, yeah, he's going to finish up with a song.
Special request from Larry.
If only wishes were vicious. If only.
I'm sorry if I
Thank you. Again, to Larry Green for putting on this great event.